eu, eu passar para vocês, né? Ele é professor de Direito da Universidade Lumière Lyon, né? E é chefe do Departamento de Pesquisa da Escola Nacional de Magistratura de Paris. E a gente começou um diálogo, principalmente depois do trabalho que eu desenvolvi no CNJ, e a gente vem costurando aí um possível curso conjunto sobre inteligência artificial nos tribunais, né? Para ser com uma abordagem que possa ser, inclusive, internacional, que possa ser levada a diferentes tribunais em diferentes países. E o Tarik é advogado também em Paris, é doutor em Direito e atuou como professor visitante na Sciences Po Paris. Ainda está, né, como professor visitante na Sciences Po Paris, com foco em Direito e Tecnologia e na Universidade de Frankfurt também, né, onde ali lida com Direito das Obrigações. E participa de uma série de comitês científicos ligados à inteligência artificial e direito. A ideia, o que eu pedi para o Tarik, para ele fazer uma abordagem para nós aqui, dar um panorama de como está o mercado europeu, né, depois da entrada em vigor do AI Act e o movimento das empresas para preparação e adequação às exigências do AI Act, os principais desafios e as perspectivas ali na Europa. A gente está aí prestes a passar por um processo similar, com uma legislação, como o Tarik falou, a primeira impressão dele, muito similar à do AI Act. Então, vale a pena a gente ter essa prévia do que vem funcionando, o que vem dando problema ali na Europa. E a gente foi, aqui tem dois pontos, Tarik, que até vou abrir para uma pequena discussão entre nós, que são recentes. Uma delas é uma tomada de subsídios da ANPD, que é a Autoridade Nacional de Proteção de Dados, de regulamentando o artigo 20 da Lei Geral de Proteção de Dados, que corresponde ao artigo 22 da GDPR, né? Sobre decisões automatizadas. E ali eles fizeram uma série de questões sobre o uso de dados pessoais para treinamentos de IA, inclusive para treinamento de IA generativa. Acho que vale a gente aproveitar o tempo para ter um papo um pouco sobre isso. E, obviamente, você vai poder trazer uma série de perspectivas de vocês. E agora o texto que eu te mandei ontem à noite, o Diego até comentou no paralelo, né, que deve estar todo mundo de ressaca, porque o texto chegou para todos no final do dia, né? Eu também eu fiquei lendo à noite o texto e muita gente deve ter ficado também. E de repente a gente pode conversar, mas uma ideia que eu iria sugerir aqui para todos, já antes do Tarik tomar a palavra para fazer uma abordagem de como estão as coisas na Europa, a gente poderia aproveitar toda primeira quinta-feira do mês, né? Ou seja, a semana imediatamente subsequente ao Fórum Brasileiro de IA Responsável, a gente faz uma reunião do núcleo de saúde, que também é quinta-feira, às 8 horas da manhã. Então, vai ser quinta-feira que vem, às 8 horas da manhã. E essa reunião do núcleo de saúde, nós procuramos debater aspectos específicos que estão ali nesse setor. Mas a gente poderia aproveitar essa reunião para fazer uma discussão do novo texto, se vocês acharem uma boa. Eu só preciso ver, porque vai ter um webinar internacional de apresentação de diferentes abordagens, mas isso eu posso ver ali. Essa poderia ser uma sugestão, se vocês acharem uma boa. Ficam todos convidados e o Bernardo estende o convite para todos, por e-mail, para ficar todo mundo ali agendado. Bom, então, eu acho que com isso, Tarik, eu vou passar então a palavra para você. Muito obrigado por ter aceitado participar desse encontro e trazer essa perspectiva da movimentação aí do mercado europeu para se adaptar ao AI Act.
Muito obrigado, Juliano. Eu gostaria muito de fazer a apresentação em português, mas meu nível acho que não é suficiente para uma apresentação importante como o AI Act, e é porque vou falar em inglês. Espero que estará bem para todos. E desculpa por isso, e a próxima vez vou trabalhar muito meu português para ter um nível suficiente de academia. Então, muito obrigado, Juliano, por isso. É muito importante, e agora vou falar inglês. It's a great honor to be here today and to address to this audience a topic that is very topical, as shown by the Brazilian's AI bill that Juliano sent to me yesterday. Artificial intelligence is transforming the way, as you know, we live and work, opening new possibilities across sector, while simultaneously challenging our existing regulatory frameworks. Recognizing the profound impact of this technology, the European Union has positioned itself at the forefront of global AI governance through digital strategy. This strategy builds on several regulations such as the GDPR, as you talked, which set global standards for data protection, but there is also the DMA or DSA designed to ensure fair competition and transparency in digital services, and the Data Act, which facilitates data sharing in a secure and ethical manner. The AI Act is perhaps most ambitious addition to this ecosystem, seeks to harmonize technologically progress with Europe's commitment to fundamental rights and societal values. To provide to you some context for our discussion, the AI Act was first proposed in 2021, but its urgency and significance have only increased with the recent explosion of generative AI tools like ChatGPT, of course. These tools have showcased the immense potential of AI while also revealing the society and ethical risks that must be carefully managed. At over 140 pages, the European AI Act, which was adopted in last June, is a technical complex regulation. It introduces a risk-based framework for AI systems, establishes clear compliance obligations for different categories of risk, and interacts with other European regulations to create a governance model. While larger companies may be able to integrate internal and external compliance resources, smaller companies face significant obstacles, including the financial and operational challenges of adapting to such an intricate legal environment. To navigate this complexity, I will structure my presentation into three key parts. First, data and AI regulation. We will here explore the foundational legal principles underlying the AI Act, focusing on how data is regulated and used in AI systems. Two, AI systems and risk levels. I will explain here the Act's risk-based approach and how it shapes compliance obligations for different types of AI systems and for those affected by AI Act. 3. Sanction in AI Act. Finally, I will examine the sanctions provided by AI Act, which is not liabilities regulation, but compliance regulation. This roadmap will guide us through the AI Act's essential element and its implications for businesses, regulators, and society at large. As you can see, in the time I have to speak about that, I choose to present to you a very large scope of the regulation to give you a global understanding of AI regulation in Europe, but this approach don't allow for to go into detail which, in any event, is not yet determined in Europe due to the 2-year entry into force period left to allow authorities and companies to comply. As you will have understood, this is a law under construction. Let us now begin with the first key part, data and AI regulation. Let's examining the role of data in artificial intelligence and the legal challenges it presents under the European Union's regulatory framework. Data, as you know, is the lifeblood of artificial intelligence. Without high quality and lawfully obtained data, AI systems cannot function effectively. This dependency on data highlights significant legal challenges, particularly under GDPR, the AI Act, and complementary regulation like DMA, it is Digital Market Act, which govern platform data management. The transformative power of data first became evident during the big data era around 2011. At that time, the combination of vast datasets and advanced computing capabilities revolutionized the development of AI. However, this transformation occurred in a largely unregulated landscape. By the time the GDPR came into effect in 2018, major tech companies had already amassed vast quantities of data. Today, the AI Act complements the GDPR by establishing a large regulatory framework. These two regulations work hand in hand, with the AI Act frequently referencing GDPR principles to ensure consistency in privacy and data protection. Together, they aim to balance the advancement of innovation with the preservation of fundamental rights, addressing issues such as database, transparency, and compliance. The ambition of these objectives makes it possible to understand that these regulations are quite cumbersome to deploy for companies and are not always coherent due to their complexity. The alignment of these regulations represents an important step in creating a European ecosystem that supports trustworthy AI while safeguarding individual freedoms. While these regulations are necessary, they also present significant challenges for businesses and regulators alike. Let me highlight 3 critical areas. GDPR compliance, companies must ensure data privacy and obtain informed consent, which remain foundational legal requirements for handling personal data. For AI systems, this means demonstrating how data is collected, stored, and used in compliance with GDPR standards and AI Act. Harmonization of authority is the second point. The enforcement of the AI Act requires coordination between multiple regulatory authorities, including those responsible to GDPR and intellectual property. Achieving this harmonization is a complex task that underscores the interconnected nature of these regulations and of the rules that these authorities will give. 3. International property rights. Many AI models are trained on datasets that include copyrighted materials, such as text, music, or images, as you know, scrapped from the internet. This raises legal question about the ownership of both the training data and the output generated by AI systems. These challenges are not unique to Europe, of course, but the complexity of the AI Act places Europe at the forefront, maybe, of navigating this dual compliance landscape. Businesses operating in this space must carefully balance privacy laws and intellectual property rights, whether or not they directly develop or use AI systems. For businesses, this regulatory development underscores the importance of proactive compliance strategy. To succeed in this environment, businesses must establish robust data management protocols that comply with GDPR requirements. These include transparent data collection, storage, and processing practices. Companies should also prepare for AI Act conformity assessment by demonstrating adherence to risk-based compliance standards and ethical guidelines. This might involve new processes or external audits. The companies should also anticipate ongoing change in intellectual property law, which is rapidly evolving to address the challenge posed by AI-generated works and datasets. By addressing this requirement early, businesses can not only mitigate legal risks, but also position themselves as leaders in responsible and innovative AI development. Those who succeed will likely gain a competitive advantage in marketplace in Europe. To bring this point to life, let us consider two recent examples from France that illustrate the intersection of AI, data, and regulation. First, the deployment of smart surveillance cameras during the 2024 Paris Olympics. These algorithmic cameras relied on advanced AI to monitor crowds and enhance security. However, they also raised significant concern about privacy and civil liberties. To comply, developers had to ensure transparency in how the AI made decisions and implement safeguards to avoid mass surveillance abuses. The intense debate that followed underscored the importance of aligning AI innovation with public trust and legal requirements. It was just an exceptional authorization to test surveillance using AI during Olympics, but this example let us understand the regulation's complexity. Second example, the use of AI in creative processes. AI systems are increasingly being used to generate music, literature, and visual art. This raises fundamental questions about intellectual property all around the world. Who owns the right to an AI-generated work? And how should the data used in the training process be managed legally? These unresolved questions are central to the AI Act's evolving framework and demonstrate the challenging of adapting traditional legal principles to modern AI technologies. As the general regulation of AI Act doesn't regulate this kind of question especially, but the rules of AI Act will help the future answer with transparency requirements or other obligation of AI Act. In conclusion of this first part, data is the foundation of AI, but it is also the source of significant legal complexity. The European Union's regulatory approach led by GDPR and the AI Act represents a comprehensive effort to address these challenges. However, businesses must navigate this framework carefully, ensuring compliance while fostering innovation. With this understanding of data and AI regulation, let us now move to the second part of the presentation, AI systems and their risk-based categorization. Having discussed the importance of data in AI regulation, let us now turn our attention to the classification of AI systems, the associated risk levels under the AI Act, and the obligation imposed on stakeholders. The first step for any company engaging with the AI Act is to determine whether their technology qualifies as an AI system under its definitions. AI system is defined under the Article 3 of AI Act, like a machine-based system designed to operate with varying levels of autonomy and capable of, for a given set of human-defined objectives, generating outputs such as contents, predictions, recommendation, or decision influencing physical or virtual environments. As you can see, the Act adopts a broad and inclusive approach to what constitutes an AI system. While we often associate AI with cutting-edge technologies like generative models, such as ChatGPT, the scope extends far beyond that. It includes systems that many organizations already use, such as predictive algorithms or automated decision-making tools. This comprehensive definition ensures that the regulation is future-proof, covering both existing and emerging technologies. We will see if the goal will be reached. For businesses, this means that even technology they might not immediately think of as AI could fall under the AI Act's regulation, making it essential to evaluate their systems. The AI Act introduces a risk-based framework that categorizes AI systems into 4 distinct levels, with some exception rules like for military use, for example. This reflects the European Union's commitment to balancing innovation with ethics and fundamental rights. Before presenting the distinct levels, we will note that certain AI systems may fall into several categories, which will give rise to difficulties in qualification and therefore in regulation. Now let us present these levels. First, prohibited AI systems. These include applications deemed fundamentally incompatible with human rights. Examples are social scoring systems used by public authorities or biometric surveillance, such as facial recognition in public spaces without legal authorization. The Olympic Paris test was with legal authorization, but it was before the AI Act. These systems are outright banned to safeguard democratic principles. 2. High-risk AI systems. These are applications used in critical sectors like healthcare, finance, and public safety. Examples include diagnostic AI tools in medicine or credit scoring algorithms in finance. Such systems must comply with stringent requirements to ensure they are fair, accurate, and transparent. 3. Limited risk AI systems. These involve technologies such as chatbots or deepfake generators. While not inherently harmful, these systems require clear transparency measures, for instance, informing users that they are interacting with AI. AI for general use is the last category. This category includes general purpose systems like generative AI model, ChatGPT, Gemini, or other like that. While they are subject to fewer obligations, provider must still disclose data sources and intended use to ensure compliance. Remember that an AI system could enter in more than one category I exposed. This classification allows for proportional regulation, ensuring that oversight focuses on the most impactful systems without blocking innovation in lower risk technology. That's the goal. Based on this risk level, the AI Act assigns distinct obligations to various stakeholders in the AI ecosystem to ensure compliance. Let us briefly, of course, outline these roles. First, providers. These are the developers of AI systems. They are required to implement risk mitigation measures, ensure transparency, and undergo conformity assessment. For high-risk systems, they must also maintain detailed technical documentation covering design, development, and risk management. Secondly, distributors, kind of intermediate. These stakeholders ensure that AI systems distributed within Europe in the name of an external company of Europe comply with regulatory standards. Third category is importers. For AI systems developed outside the European Union, importers must guarantee that these technologies meet European Union requirements, ensuring consistent protection across the market. The difference with distributor is that the importers is a person who doesn't apply for another companies, but in his name. Finally, users. Those using AI systems are expected to operate them responsibly, adhere to usage guidelines, and report any malfunctions or risks to providers. This division of compliance creates a framework for shared compliance across the AI ecosystem. As you can see, the AI Act presents significant challenges, particularly for small and medium-sized enterprises. High-risk AI systems require costly conformity assessment and extensive technical documentation. While the Act includes provisions for lighter assessment for small and medium enterprises, understanding and implementing these specific rules can still be a complex task. Moreover, many AI systems operate as black boxes, as you know, making it difficult for companies to provide clear explanations of their decision-making processes. This lack of explicability poses both technical and regulatory challenges. While larger firms often have the resources to navigate these requirements, smaller businesses may struggle even with lighter rules designed to support innovation in AI Act. In practice, compliance with the AI Act varies by the size and capacity of the organization. Many small and medium enterprises in Europe rely heavily on external legal and technical advisors, especially during the early stages of implementation. This external support helps them navigate the complexity of the Act while minimizing costs and resource demand. Larger organizations often here adopt a dual strategy. They may initially consult external advisors, but gradually build in-house governance frameworks, including dedicated compliance teams and detailed documentation processes. A recent study here in France, not in Europe, just in France, let appear that legal directors ask themselves if they have to change the way they implement risk in complex regulation like AI Act. This dual approach demonstrates the need for flexibility in compliance strategies, enabling businesses of all sizes to meet their obligations while fostering compliance and innovation. Enforcement of the AI Act will involve both national and European level authority to implement all I just talked about. Each European Union member state will designate supervisory authorities. For instance, in France, la CNIL, Commission nationale de l'informatique et des libertés, may play a key role if it will appoint. At the European level, a new artificial intelligence board will be established to facilitate cooperation and provide guidance on the Act's implementation. To support businesses, the AI Act includes a 2-year transition period, allowing companies time to understand and comply with the new requirements. This gradual rollout is intended to ease the burden on businesses while ensuring that regulatory goals are achieved. In summary of the second part, the AI Act's risk-based framework and stockholders' obligations create a structured approach to AI governance. While challenges remain, particularly for small and medium businesses, the Act provides the tools and timeline necessary for compliance. Let us now move to the final part of this presentation, where we will explore the sanctions provided by the AI Act.